so this is the investigation question for 2C. We've got, they've got kite-shaped sunshades to protect it from the sun. He reads that the sum of the two diagonals is 35 and that the area is given by the product. So we're investigating the area. So if we've got, let's call one is x, so therefore the other one must be 35 minus x, because they add up to, oops, that's x, add up to 35 metres. So our area is x times, because it's a product, 35 minus x. Right, I think the easy, you could do a table from like 1 up to 35, but that could take a while if you're doing x and 35 minus x. You could look at the graph. We could draw this graph of x, so that would go through at 0, and then because if you multiply this out you get 35x minus x squared, which is an upside down parabola. Now this would 35, and you can see that the maximum area is when x is half of that 35. So that's when x equals 17.5. Okay, so you can look at that, and that shows you about the maximum area. The easiest thing would be from a graph. Okay, and if you put 17.5 into that, it actually ends up being 17.5 times 17.5, which is something or other. I haven't got my calculator here. So 17.5 times 17.5, get a calculator. Just waiting for it to. So that's when the maximum will be. Okay. Okay. So that'll be what the maximum there is. So that's investigating the area, including the maximum area. So the minimum area, when, of course, is when it's 1 times 34, which is 34. So the next one would be 2 times 33, which is 66. And you can see that it starts smaller and it gets bigger, and then it will get smaller again on what you do. Now, the second part of this was what if it was n metres longer. Okay, so we're going to do the same sort of thing. We've got x here, x times plus, x minus 35 plus n. So we're adding the n onto the 35. Sorry, y equals. So that's 0. 35 plus n. So the maximum, again, will be halfway between. And to find the halfway, of course, you add these two values together and divide it in half. Find the average of it. So the max will be when that is. Now, as we looked beforehand, we worked out that it was always going to be the square of it. Okay, it's going to be, in this case, it's 17.5 squared. Instead of 17.5, we've got that there. So when we look at it, our x value is going to be 35.n divided by 2, sorry. But our y value is going to be that squared, just like the 17.5 squared. So just write it as 35 plus n over 2, and we're going to square it. And so that's my x value, writing it as a coordinate, and that's my y value. So including finding the coordinates of the parabola. So those are the changes that you need to make to that.